Let's start with the AFC East. New England, Miami, and Buffalo, to me, feel like still playoff teams. Doesn't mean they'll get in. But when I watch Buffalo, for instance, at 6-5, I'm like, they can run the football. They're hard to run on. They've got a very good defensive personnel up front. And they got a couple receivers I like. I mean, Buffalo feels like they could be in the playoffs. They wouldn't embarrass themselves. So 3 teams in the AFC East. Jets are done. I don't care what the stats say, the numbers say, mathematical probability says. Jets aren't a playoff team. In the AFC North, sorry, Cincinnati. We all know Cleveland. Cincinnati's not a playoff team. They're not a playoff team. The minute you take away the gifts, the weapons from Andy Dalton, it's an average football team. Pittsburgh and Baltimore have the coaches and the quarterbacks and the front offices. Those feel like they wouldn't embarrass themselves. Those feel like potential playoff teams. In the AFC South, I don't care that Houston's in first place. That is not a playoff team. I saw them against San Diego. I saw them against New England. Tennessee and Indianapolis would not embarrass themselves because they have star quarterbacks. Okay, Houston is a hot 6-5 mess. As Rob Riggle said on the pregame show yesterday, this sums up Houston perfectly.
This is the Price is What round. Which of these is worth more, the popcorn maker or Brock Osweiler?
I'm going to go with the popcorn maker. Yeah.
Well, let's see. The popcorn maker costs $29.95, and Brock Osweiler costs $72 million.
How is that possible?
It makes no sense.
Exactly. Houston's not a playoff team. I don't care what their record is today. In the AFC West, Oakland, Kansas City, Denver, and I am skittish on Denver. I'm going to give Denver about another week. I said they would fall off a cliff and go 6-10. I was wrong on that. Oakland and Kansas City are playoff teams. No question. Denver, I'm giving them one more week. I like their defense. Now that everybody's got film on Trevor Siemian, they're not fooling anybody. They're not fooling anybody. Kansas City went in there last night and should have won by more. That's the AFC playoff teams. Let's go to the NFC. NFC East. Philadelphia plays the Packers tonight. I suspect they win, so I will still include them at 5-5. Dallas and Washington feel like playoff teams. I can't figure the Giants out, but at 8-3, they're probably, unless they completely implode, going to be a playoff team. So all 4 if the Eagles win tonight. In the NFC North, nobody but Detroit feels like a playoff team. Chicago's a mess. How many apologists and excuses are we going to make for Green Bay? Everybody's hurt in this league. Every team. Indianapolis has like 9 guys on the shelf. Pittsburgh's all beat up. Everybody's beat up. Green Bay's not a good football team. And Minnesota's either got coaching chaos or injuries. They don't feel like a playoff team anymore.
Oh, they're only a game back, though, of Detroit, and Detroit has been losing in the fourth quarter of every game. Like, you could make the argument Detroit should be 4-7, not 7-4.
But Detroit's winning. Detroit has a better quarterback, and I don't think the North gets a second playoff team because I think you're going to get 3 playoff teams from the NFC East. I think you're going to get Dallas, New York, and Washington. Washington feels like a playoff team to me. They've given the Cowboys pushback both games. Those are real games. NFC South, Atlanta and Tampa. I don't think New Orleans, for what they did yesterday, doesn't have the defense. Carolina's a mess. I am, again, very reluctant to put my arms around Tampa. They've had back-to-back great weeks over Kansas City and Seattle. They're way too inconsistent. They're like Denver. Let me give one more game from Denver in the AFC and Tampa in the NFC, and if they lose, I'm out on both. And finally, who's kidding who? Seattle's the only team in the West. So we basically believe on this show there are 17 teams still with a playoff shot, and really 15. Tampa and Denver, Philadelphia, those teams have to win their next game. Eagles have to win tonight, or I am out.